Russia throws more soldiers into Bakhmut meat grinder ahead of Putin's Victory Day parade.
Here's a summary of the article.
Kyiv. After missing multiple self-imposed deadlines for capturing Bakhmut, Russia continues to throw more of its soldiers into the grinding battle in the Donetsk region in a desperate bid for something to tout during next week's Victory Day parade in Moscow. Russia celebrates the Soviet victory over Nazi Germany in World War II every year on May 9, and President Vladimir Putin has used the holiday to boost his image as a strongman over the course of his decades in power. With the U.S. estimating that 20,000 Russian soldiers have been killed in Ukraine since December and a further 80,000 injured, Kyiv is determined to rob Putin of any positive PR, and Ukrainian forces are digging in, with heavy fighting continuing around Bakhmut. Though Russia reportedly controls most of Bakhmut, Cherevati said Ukraine still holds the western part of the town and that supply routes are open. White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told reporters Monday that, since December, we estimate that Russia has suffered more than 100,000 casualties, including over 20,000 killed in action. Referring to the really stunning numbers, Kirby said that of those killed, nearly half were from the Kremlin-linked Wagner group of mercenaries, the majority of whom were Russian convicts that were thrown into combat in Bakhmut. Kirby did not offer an estimate of Ukrainian casualties. Russia's attempt at a winter offensive in the Donbass largely through Bakhmut has failed, Kirby said. Last week, Wagner Group financier and leader Yevgeny Prigozhin threatened to withdraw his forces from Bakhmut if Russia's military command failed to provide more ammunition to the mercenaries, ISW reported, quoting Prigozhin's interview with a Kremlin-affiliated military blogger.
This post received a score of 6,800, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Remember when Russia thought this would be over before last Victory Day?
It's really been over a full year since this meaningless bloodbath started, huh?
Day 433 of the 3-day special operation?
Sounds like Gilligan's Island.
Let's hope not. That one ran for 2.5 years. Sad face.
Wait, that show only ran for 2.5 years? That's wild. Really thought it would have been longer.
3 seasons plus a movie. In the movie they finally escape the island, then several years later decide to take a nostalgia cruise together and get shipwrecked back on the same island.
Actually, there were 3 movies, one of which starred the Harlem Globetrotters.
I wonder if there will be a parade. Wooden mock-ups and virtual soldiers. Is there anyone left?
It will be an endless stream of tanks and soldiers emerging from a curtain at one end and disappearing into a curtain at the other. The soldiers will be showing off a huge variety of eyewear, beards and mustaches. Do not approach the curtain unless you want to be detained.
I think Mussolini did pretty much this very thing when Hitler visited Italy. He wanted to impress Hitler, so he had his army march around the block a few times in a row to make his forces seem larger than they were.
That honestly sounds anecdotal. Pre-war Italy actually did have a large trained army, a brand new fleet of warships, and came out of the Great Depression more or less better than some of its neighbors, which makes it all the more dumbfoundingly hilarious that they did so poorly in the war. It really did speak to the absolutely incompetent and abysmal leadership in the fascist government.
The army they had was well equipped and trained. For WW1. They had tankets on the Eastern Front, for crying out loud.
Only people alive to be in the parade are just 3 guys and a bear.
Putin will speak highly about the bear's role as the most loyal and important general in the Russian armed forces.
And a week later the bear will inexplicably fall out of a 4th-story window.
The mental image of a bear falling out of a window now lives rent-free in my head.
It seems Putin desperately wants any victory he can get to have something to talk about in his speech on Victory Day. How many wasted lives? How many dreams will fade away?
Greater than it seems Putin desperately wants any victory he can get to have something to talk about in his speech on Victory Day? That's what's nuts to me. Like, they're clearly happy to lie to their population, and their population seems to believe a lot of the shit they're told. Why not just tell his people that they have Bakhmut? Instead he'd basically sending tens of thousands to their deaths just so he can score a PR point.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes. and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.